Is there such a thing as overtraining? This is something that some people, even seasoned athletes or seasoned gym goers, still debate. And here I'm just going to talk about this. First of all, let's have a look at what overtraining is. Okay, so I'm just going to have a quick Google. Click. There you go. Okay, so let's have a look at this. So Wikipedia says overtraining occurs when a person exceeds their body's ability to recover from strenuous exercise. I try not to use your Wikipedia too much, but let's go to another definition. acefitness.org. Education and resources. I've never actually been on this website, but let's have a look. Okay. 9 times overtraining to look for. Too much exercise without enough recovery or chronic underfueling. Decreased performance. Increased perceived effort during workouts. Excessive fatigue. Okay, brilliant. Alright. Okay, so a website here that's actually telling me, right, this is what overtraining is. And it's not just me looking this up and saying, right, okay, giving you information from a website. These are actually things that I've experienced in my own life or in my own training when I've trained exceptionally hard, and it has actually hit me a number of times in my life. So, in the short answer, yes, there is such a thing as overtraining in those terms. But what is really important in terms of overtraining is the fact that you don't recover enough from increased demands on the body from your exercise sessions and from your training sessions. Okay, so that's what some of these websites are referring to about overtraining. Now, some people may argue that, well, you can never overtrain. I mean, you can never overtrain, and then some people might say you can't really overtrain, because they probably define overtraining as breaking through a limit and putting increased demands on the body, but you can under recover. Which, the third one, I think is a bit more of an apt description of what I've been through personally and what I've seen other people go through personally as well. Now, with overtraining, you've got a number of things, I'd say, that can be a symptom in this respect. So, broken sleep pattern, or insomnia. I've definitely experienced that. Yeah, so you can have insomnia. Your training sessions that were more manageable, start to become like climbing more and more like climbing that Mount Everest, or climbing Mount Everest twice. Loss of appetite, loss of sex drive as well sometimes. And also increasing injuries and illnesses. I can tell you now, illnesses if illnesses are a big thing with your training session, i.e. you're just getting ill all the time, I'd just cut your training straight away. You're, regardless of where you are, so if you're training for an event, I'll just cut your training. And, well, if you're, depending on what time scale you are at the event, make sure you're good for that event. That is key. And this is something I wish I did back in, I think it was about 10 years ago when it hit me. Overtraining. This is where I wish I just said, right, okay, just cut back the training. I'm not gaining any benefit. So, because ultimately from your training sessions, you want to gain benefit. You definitely want to train hard, but the reason to train hard is to gain benefit from training. And if you're training so hard that you're just not just knackering yourself all the time, you're just ill all the time. You're also you go through mood changes. Then you got to have a good look at yourself, or at the very least have somebody else look at you, like a specialist, like a personal trainer, or an exercise expert, look at you and say, right, okay, are you, maybe you're overcooking yourself. Yeah. Speaking of overcooking, the best analogy I had, and this is actually from Jeff Cavalier from Athlete X. He talks about overtraining like cooking a steak. So you got three, you got three types of training. So levels of training. You got under training, which is, well, you don't really do that much. You're not doing as much training, and you're reaping some benefit, but not a lot. Then you got the ideal level of training, and then you got overtraining, and you compare it to three steaks. One steak is been put on the grill, but it's only been there for like 30 seconds or so, and it's barely been cooked. That is a symbol of undertraining. Yeah, you're not even cooking the steak. Yeah, so that is generally what you want to avoid. But the only solution with undertraining is you just increase your training load, training volume, etc. Sensible to a sensible level. Correct level of training for where you are with your ability will be cooking that steak to, well, I like my steak rare, but that medium rare or rare level, yeah, where it's edible, yeah, and you have put it through some good heat and cooked it well, yeah, but you still got some of that juiciness depending on how you like your steak. Now, overtraining. This is when you throw your steak on the grill. The grill is a big furnace, and you leave it there for, I don't know, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, maybe even 20 minutes if you forget about it. Yeah. Now that's your overtraining. That is where your steak is so overcooked, it's probably so hard you can actually club somebody over the head and knock somebody unconscious with it. Yeah, and it's so crusted up, etc. That's basically your overtraining analogy, where the steak is just so overcooked that you can't eat from it. Yeah, and overtraining is the same. If you're feeling like you're just overcooking your body, the way to reverse that is you do need recovery. Yeah, I don't care what any athlete or any hardcore athlete says that, oh yeah, you can never overtrain. You're if they're saying, oh yeah, you're a pussy if you miss out of a training session. I'm like, well, actually no, you're only a pussy if you miss out a training session. Yeah, and even that sometimes that's not always the case, because you just didn't feel like it, but you had nothing like wrong with you, etc. But even then, sometimes that could not be the case. Most of the people who say that overtraining doesn't exist and you can never train too hard, yeah, usually they're talking from a place of ego. But that's more on that later, really. But anyway, that's my video for today. If you like it, click subscribe. Yeah, make a comment below in the section if you want what you want more of this content to be, and I'll see you in the next one.